A lot of us cope with that stress and anxiety by taking more trips to the refrigerator or helping ourselves to another plate of food at the dinner table. And joining us now to talk about all of that and much more is emotional eating expert Tricia Nelson. Thank you for being here. So much to talk about on this subject. People can even get like bored or, you know, in addition to the emotional eating. The term itself, relatively new to people's consciousness. They're just starting to talk about it more. But you actually did a study on it.
Yep, I did a study of emotional eaters, and I pulled about 100 emotional eaters, and I'd say about 85 of the 100 admitted to eating more during the holidays. So the holidays are definitely a trigger. And also, 80% of the people I polled said that they also eat on account of negative emotions. So it's not just the joy and the celebration, but it's really loneliness, stress, social anxiety, going to those parties and not feeling like you're going to fit in. These things can cause people to eat more.
It's interesting because another concept about it all is that, and we were talking about it in the makeup room, is that when you overeat like that in stressful times, you're really, or if you're sad, you're really trying to fill a void, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's hard because, you know, during the holidays, we expect to be happier. We expect to feel better and more joyous, and yet there is an underlying emptiness because sometimes people are thinking, well, I don't have as many friends as I thought I did, or they're around their families and they're feeling the stress of, you know, family tensions, and that can add to that feeling of emptiness that people do fill with sugar and carbs and other kinds of foods.
You have some amazing tips to share with our viewers, and it starts with writing things down and a food journal, essentially, right?
Yeah, I was 50 pounds overweight, so I'm very familiar with emotional eating. So what I found is that so much of my eating was unconscious, and I didn't realize how much throughout the day, especially at holiday time, I was really nibbling and snacking. So if somebody wants to not gain 10 pounds during the holidays, start writing down what you're eating, and just do it for one day at the end of the day, and just take a look, you know, gee, what have I really consumed? And it can be really shocking at times because there's an overabundance of really ooey gooey chewy foods during the holidays. So just getting a clear look on paper is a good way to kind of wake up to the fact that, gee, you know, I am overeating, I am emotional eating.
And when you do eat, you're supposed to savor the meal, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard when we're all so stressed, we're running around so busy, and we are snacking, grabbing things. I always tell people, put it on a plate, like whatever it is, put it on a plate, eat 3 meals, you know, preferably nothing in between, because if you actually give yourself the time and the space to actually eat a meal, then you're not nibbling throughout the day, because the nibbling seems like it doesn't matter because it's a little bit here and there, but we're never nibbling on lettuce or carrot sticks, right? It's always the peanuts.
I did bring carrot sticks today.
Good for you.
Do I have issues?
No, carrot sticks, you're good. But typically it's the snacky, carby, sugary things people are eating. So if you just focus on a meal and giving yourself time and space for that, even if you're at a party, wait, you know, let the hors d'oeuvres go by, wait, fill up your plate, have a good meal, get satisfied that way, but make it a real thing. Don't eat in your car, don't eat walking to the concert, you know, really make it happen, make it count, and enjoy it.
And you also have the tip of making sure that you're staying active. I know there's a turkey trot on Thanksgiving morning. Some people do. Some people have an annual hike on Thanksgiving Day. That's something you recommend?
Yeah, I mean, I walk every day, and it's actually more of a meditation for me than it is than just exercising. So exercise is super important. I think the important thing here is that people start giving themselves some self-care, some time for self-care. You know, whether that's walking, whether that's yoga, you know, walking with a friend. You know, if you can do self-care with connection at the heart level, you know, so much of the time we're eating, we're not hungry for food, we're hungry for deeper connection. So during the holidays, give yourself that. Pick up the phone, call a girlfriend, talk about, you know, that crazy uncle that drives you nuts. You know, get it off your chest so that you're not stuffing it with food.
Tricia, thank you so much for being here. We're not going to be able to talk much about it, but we want to let everyone know that you do have a podcast that you can check out. It's called Heal Your Hunger Show. I love it. All right. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Really appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Amazing tips.